on my page.
All right, that's what I need to do. I need to go to the Rejects Club page.
All right, we're live again.
Simple dark. I'm ready. Run away, go home, and leave me here alone. Watch my tears fall. I'm ready to crawl under the smoke. You blew in my heart. You left me here for dead, crying alone in the simple dark. Run away, go home, and leave me here alone. I walk this path alone, a self-inflicted isolation to sort through my brain. No matter
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of the. I don't even know. I don't have a show name for this. It's so weird. Like I don't know what this call is. But anyways, welcome to another edition of Quarantine. Doing our thing. I'm here with special. I don't know what to call it. I've never actually named whatever my live thing that I'm doing. So I've been called. Well, this week I've been called the Rejects Club prequel. Preview. But anyways, so for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have this very special guest. You can see him on the camera right now. His name is Mr. Reuben Irvin. You know him, you love him. He's been a friend of mine for God, I don't even know how long now at this point. But look, he's doing his thing. Everywhere he goes, you can make sure you can check him out on his Facebook page. It's at Reuben Irvin, or you can check him out on Instagram at I am Reuben Irvin, and go and check him out. Add him, like him. He's a good dude, all the way from Los Angeles in
Yeah, man. I'm in LA
California.
right now.
Yeah, it's like what 5 o'clock there.
5 o'clock. Yep.
Dang. Well, welcome, Reuben, and officially happy birthday, because I didn't say that to you earlier. I was kind of waiting for us to get on the air. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for joining us. I know it's kind of a big thing. You know, you got your family doing your thing. Hold up out there. So tell us, what's it like out there in the LA area with all this craziness going on.
Number one, I just switched audio device. I want to make sure you can hear me good. Good?
I hear you.
All right, cool. It's crazy. I am happy that my fellow Californians are taking this seriously. Me and my wife have not left this house. I think today's day 19 for me. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. I've been using all of the Instacarts and the Uber Eats and the all the others. Oh, that being said, I saw a news article where people are getting like Instacart and stuff, and then they say it's a 20% tip, but then as soon as the Instacart's over, they take the tip off. If you're doing that, you're a jerk face. Don't do that. Anyways, that's my soapbox moment for the day.
Very cool. So, like I said, I've known Reuben. I don't know how long. When did I meet you? Like 2005, 2006, somewhere around that neighborhood.
Let's see.
It sounds about right, because I first started doing a radio show in about 2004, and I think it was a couple years until you guys really got involved, meaning you and Chris Howard, aka House.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm trying to figure out, were we doing the show before I got married?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's got to be 2005, 2004, 2005, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you actually knew my wife, I guess, growing up. You guys went to the same high school. which is always
Went to the
kind of
same
weird.
high school.
It's you find out that this is a very small world after all.
Yeah.
Whenever you have things like that going on. So, well, again, man, thank you for the time. We're gonna be here for just under an hour, talking to Reuben, kind of getting what's going on in his world. If you don't know, Reuben does a lot. He's having a blessed life, except for right now with
Right
this whole thing. But
now.
nobody is, so he's still having a better life than a lot. But this guy, he's worked with on a Steve Harvey show. He's worked on Family Feud. He's worked on Deal or No Deal, The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Miss Universe. Probably a whole lot more. Little Big Shots, I believe. A whole lot more. This guy's worked on a lot of things. And congratulations to you, man. First of all, congratulations on all the success. I mean, that's amazing. What's it
Hey.
like for you to? And I know we've had conversations. Whenever I come in to watch Family Feud, we've had conversations. But the number one thing I think you told me so much is I am living such a blessed life. It's ridiculous. So tell us about what that's like.
Yeah. I mean, it's surreal. Like, number one, I didn't know. For folks like you said, I do warm up. I didn't know what warm up was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I literally had to Google it before I went on stage. I didn't know before I auditioned for the thing. And not only did I not know what it was when I actually got it, I didn't know what I had. I didn't know that I could take this warm up and announcing and whatever and turn it into a viable career. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I mean, everybody wants to be in front of the camera. We still, so many kids and adults. I mean, look at TikTok. TikTok is a bunch of creators making shows and little movies for other creators, right?
Right.
But I'm not even, even when I try to explain to people sometimes what I do, they get confused because, okay, so you're performing. Yes. For a TV show. Yes. Are you on TV? No. But you work on the TV show. Yes. So you're a crew member. No, I'm talent. But so it's very confusing. But no, it's surreal. I'm blessed. I love it. I'm so happy that I'm able to work and to be able to provide for my family just on being an entertainer. It's my favorite thing.
Now speaking of it, when did you know you wanted to be an entertainer? When did this occur to you that like entertainment was your life?
When I was a kid, I asked my parents. I've always been a ham. Since early on, I wanted to be an entertainer. Now, there was, again, not a focus on the fact that I was going to be an entertainer. I just wanted to be a doctor. And but I was always the funny guy in the room. I was always the funny guy in the room. And when college didn't work out, I was a character at Universal, I was a character at Disney, and I was trying to figure it all out. And just blessing after blessing. It was a lot of mistakes were made. You know what I mean? A lot of mistakes were made.
Yeah.
But I was able to take those mistakes and learn from them, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you started off, and you kind of mentioned Universal. You also had at one time worked at Nickelodeon. What did you do? What did you do when you were working there? What was those kind of early day jobs like?
So, like I said, Universal and Disney, I was a character. And I moved on. Like, I eventually became an MC and a host at Universal Studios. But then at Nickelodeon, I was a game show host. So basically, I was pieing and sliming kids all day. So people would come to the show, and I'd pie you and slime you, and that's what I did. You know what I mean? I did the hotel. I got to do the cruise ship. So yeah. And shout out to all the workers that are at the theme parks right now. A lot of them got furloughed because this is going down. So y'all gonna be back bigger than ever. Everybody, Disney's too big to fail. Universal's too big to fail. Y'all gonna be fine. But I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Yeah, and you also went and you've been a DJ. I think you still do some DJing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
To
Well,
this day.
I'm sorry. I should elaborate. So yes, started off doing the character work, moved on from the character work, and started doing more on stage stuff. So that actually was Nickelodeon. Folks don't know is early on I worked at Nickelodeon as an actor on screen. So I did a lot of stuff. If you go back in the day when the Clarissa Explains It All and the Double Dares and all those shows were on TV, I was the little black dude with the flat top on stuff. And I know you say you had we have the Rejects Club. I was on a teen drama called 15 back in the day, and
Wow. The original
for
Rejects
the
Club.
bit parts that for the bit parts that I had, my name was Jerome. I mean, they tried to figure out the blackest name they could give me, and that was that thing. And so I moved on to that. Started DJing. A friend of mine named Elliot came to Nickelodeon to do a show, and I was emceeing a show by the poolside, and he hit me up. He goes, "Hey man, listen, you're really good on the mic. How would you feel about emceeing for my DJ company?" And I go, "All right, sure." So I started emceeing for a DJ company for a couple of months, and a couple of months in, he had a drum set in the back of his office, and I was on the drums getting it, whatever. And he goes, "Man, you got rhythm." And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, if you got that kind of rhythm, you can learn how to DJ." He taught me how to DJ within an afternoon, and so that moved on. And so I actually thought my life was going to be running a DJ company in Orlando. That's what I thought my life was going to be, or entertainment company in Orlando. And that's what I was working towards. Thanks, Ricky. Ricky's in the chat. A lot of friends are in the chat. But what they say, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan. This came out of nowhere. This whole warm up thing happened, and here, basically, if you want to know how that happened, Steve Harvey didn't want to do. He didn't want to do Family Feud in L.A. So so they decided, okay, we'll do a Family Feud on the East Coast. Let's find an appropriate stage. For the quick turnaround, the appropriate stage had to be Universal Studios. Seeing as they didn't have people, they didn't have basically a pool of warm-up guys. They did a big giant audition, and I didn't get it. I was the runner-up, but I blew the doors off that first weekend. And Steve liked me so much, he kept me. And I've been doing this now 11 years now.
Yeah, see, it's funny because I really got to know you whenever you used to do the show with House and Waru. Now, this was an online radio show. We did, not too dissimilar from what we're doing now. You always go on topical situations, try to have some bits, some fun, whatever. And I remember, you guys doing that. And, you just had such a personality, such a just something that people kind of gravitated towards. So I think that what's all of these things that you had done, the Nickelodeons and the Universals, even the DJ, and even in the radio online radio show, I think all of that really kind of drove you into besides just being a natural ham and a natural big personality, but I really think that helped a lot prepare you, even though you didn't know what warm up guy was. That helped prepare you for whenever you actually got your big shot. And, so what was it like? You get that call. I'm assuming you got a call or something, or did they tell you in person?
Oh.
How did that go?
Yeah. So when I first got this, I did the audition, and I didn't know if I wanted the job, because at the time I thought, all right, so to backstory for that is, excuse me, there had been other shows where they come to Universal Studios. They would actually hire actors and performers from Universal Studios to be kind of the pre-show. And that was the thing. So that's what I thought this was. I didn't know that this was through the TV show itself. I just wasn't paying attention. So I was kind of like, I don't want to do this. I always had a little comfy life. I'm fine. I don't need it. And so when I did the audition, yada, 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 I was DJing at Wet and Wild in Orlando. I was in the booth. And I get a call from this big guy's name is Jim Roush. Jim Roush, I'll tell you more about him later, because that dude is just everything. But Jim Roush called, and I didn't pick up the phone at first. I didn't recognize the number. I thought it was a bill collector. It was 818. I don't know 818 numbers. And
which, by the way, is in Southern California, is 818 is one.
Yeah.
In case people were wondering.
So, I called him back. But I'm in the booth with my homeboy Justin, and I was like, man, if they don't come with this amount of money, I'm not going to do it. I talked to Jim. The number that he offered me was minuscule. It was way more than I had anticipated. What the number was in my head. I wanted to quit DJing that day.
So, I'm out. I'm out of here.
I'm out.
Peace.
I wanted to leave that day. I went home. I downloaded the Family Feud theme song on my iPhone, and I got home and I said, "Baby, listen to this." And I started playing it, and she didn't recognize. She was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "Baby, I got Family Feud." "What do you mean you got Family Feud? We're gonna be on Family Feud." She said, "No, I'm the warm up guy." Oh, we had a little parties, but it was crazy. It was good.
That's cool. And so you mentioned your wife, Alicia, and
Yeah.
how long you guys been married?
Oh man. 11/11/2007. Wow. This will be year 13.
Man, you got to keep
We're
that
going
number in your
on
head, brother.
13.
You got to keep that number in your head. You know, you get in trouble for stuff like that.
Oh, see. Oh, I'm not dude. That's why I got married when I got married. 11/11/2007. It rhymes so well. And so I will
Listen, I got engaged on Cinco de Mayo. I got married on the last day of November. Trust me, I get that.
Well, right now all the days are running together. I don't know what day it is. I forgot that it was Friday for a second. I mean, it's like I didn't know. It's my birthday, but it feels like every other day. It's just
Yeah, yeah, it does. It starts all running together. So now you got married, you had a wife. Now that's great. You're actually becoming more like the family guy. You have a couple sons. Congratulations on them. They look like awesome kids. I've never met them personally yet, but they
dope.
look like awesome kids. Like you have a lot of fun with them. For those of you who don't know, especially who don't know Reuben, has an affinity, a love for toys and Transformers being the favorite. I know that. As a matter of fact, you can see behind him a lot of said things. As a matter of fact, before we went on the air, Ruben said, "Yeah, my wife basically gave me this room so I could store all my junk in it." And and there it is. He's got like whole room. So definitely But I mean that's cool because you keep that and you get to share that with with your boys, and that's something that they'll have forever.
Yeah, and it's a joy. Like we bond a lot. I've one of the good things that have come out of this crisis is um I've gotten a chance to spend more time with my sons than I've ever gotten to. You know what I mean? I've always been on the go. I'm a hustler. I mean, I try to work 7 days a week. I try to take no days off. This business is feast or famine. So I try to work as hard and as long as I can. But this has been a way for me to kind of slow down, reevaluate things, reevaluate what's excuse me important. And they're the reason I hustle. So why not? I'm just happy I get to spend more time with them. I need to see them grow, to see where my son is learning wise and all that other good stuff, man. So it's been a blessing.
Great, great. It is like you said. It's kind of an interesting thing of when you have all the you're hustling and you're out there and you're moving and and life is going 100 miles an hour and then all of a sudden you just stop. You just
Yeah,
stop. I mean, that's it's not an easy thing to do, but luckily, like I said, you have the boys. You can you have the whole home life, the whole support system, and I know that you guys have some real concerns when it comes to coronavirus, like everybody should, but I know that you have asthma and things, so like having respiratory issues that has to be kind of an extra worry for you maybe than some other folks out there.
I mean, I've told this before. This is my worst nightmare. Like, ever since I was a little kid, um, I've always worried. I've always worried. My asthma was really, really bad when I was a kid. So I've always worried that A was going to come back worse, and B that something. I mean, I talk for a living, and you need lungs for that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so I was always. And so now this is just kind of just an eye opener. I think this should be an eye opener for everybody that we're not invincible. You know, like we as people and as Americans, we're not invincible. We need to sit down, figure out what's important, and hopefully we come over on the other side of this with some lessons learned in regards of um, there's more to life than working. There's more to life than money. There's more to life than hustling. And I'm gonna remember that coming on the other side of this. Like I'm gonna like right now. I wish my sons just want to go to the park. I want to go to the park with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to come out on the other side of this with lessons learned. I'm going to come out of this, and I hope everybody does come out of this better and bigger. And you know, I'm just proud that I can say they've been, for the most part, doing okay with it.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely a good lesson for everybody to know. Look, come out of this, with some learn about yourself, learn about
Yeah,
what's really important in this world. Yeah, I mean, taking care of your family, making sure that everybody's happy, you do things with them, but you got to make sure to spend some time with those who are most important to you. So,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's got to be a big life lesson that we got. So let's get back into more of Ruben the Entertainer, because this is what I think that a lot of people, maybe not know about you. Like, what's it like on a daily basis. Like, okay, I've been with you for a full day of Family Feud, and what you do. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize all the stuff that you do, especially on Family Feud. As an example, when I was there watching it, yeah, I knew at that point, whenever I was there, I knew that you were the warm up guy. I knew that you had just taken over doing the announcing. So like whenever people, if you watch, some of the newer episodes of Family Feud, probably what, like the last 3-4 years now, something,
Yeah. I'm on year 5. Is that crazy?
Oh my God, yeah, it's 2020. Yeah, it's crazy. And but when you hear the opening part where it's like, I don't know, what do you say? What's that announcer thing that you say?
It's time to play Family
There you
Feud.
go.
Give
Yep.
it up for the host of the show, Steve Harvey. Then he comes around the corner,
Then he comes around the
and they cut
corner,
me a
he walks
check.
out to the audience, and he steps back to his ex, and then he starts talking. Uh,
There you go.
Seen it enough times, but a lot of people don't
Yeah, I'm about to
realize.
say you know the whole layout
I
now. Look
do
at you. You
now,
know the
yeah, I
blocking.
do, really do. And again, thank you so much for allowing myself and Madison to come hang out that one day. It was so cool. Like we went back, we looked at the production truck, we were walking around. I know you mentioned on your live the other day about the you've lost weight because you're not there with all the craft services and such.
Yeah.
Y'all don't understand what's back behind the stage for these folks to eat with candies.
Oh man.
It's insane.
So you came to Family Feud. The Family Feud does kind of a basic area, like candies, fruits, snacks, all the sodas you could ever drink, anything snack you want. But when my first year, you mentioned earlier that I did The Bachelor. My first year doing The Bachelor, and I walk in, and there is a barista, and there is a woman rolling sushi, and I said, "What have I walked into?" Just the things happening backstage. It's crazy. It's a privilege. I know it's a privilege. You know what I mean? I know I live a weird life. This is La La Land. Uh,
Right, but people
most people.
But people don't
What is that?
realize on Family Feud that you actually run the pregame. So like when you're testing out audience, the potential people who are
The
going to play,
contestants.
the contestants. Thank you. Those people, you actually run games with them, and that was the coolest part for me, man. I sat out in the audience. There's no audience, but I sat out in the audience with the other contestants while you were basically having team one. You were basically Steve Harvey on
Yeah.
that.
So that whole process. So basically, to get on Family Feud, you have to do the show with me before you get to Steve. There's a whole process of auditioning. My friend Sarah, she is the one who runs that whole department. But they go and they pick these people. They go all over the world. They try to find little small towns in the whole 9 yards. And then once they think you're cool, they're like, listen. For those quick tip, if you ever want to be on Family Feud, it does not matter that you are a Family Feud genius. They are looking for fun, energetic people they can put on TV. They cannot put 5 dead smart people on the TV. So if you bring your 4 best energetic people and then your 5th crazy cousin and come on TV. And anyway, so once they fly you out to now Atlanta, well, it was Atlanta, now LA, you do the show with me. The thought process behind that is this. I tell jokes, right?
Yeah.
If you can't handle my jokes, Steve Harvey's going to eat you alive, right? Steve Harvey's going to eat you alive. So you have to be able to be energetic and fun, and they watch you because I'm asking the questions like Steve would, and then they get on TV. Hopefully,
Right.
not everybody they fly people all the way out to LA. That's not a guarantee you're going to be on the screen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So now tell us a little bit about Steve Harvey. We see the guy, the original king of comedy. We see the guy who goes on there. One of my favorite parts for if you ever get the opportunity to go and just be in the audience of Family Feud, as an example, one of the coolest things is on the quote unquote commercial breaks, he talks to the audience, answers questions, and it gives them some like real life anecdotes and such. But tell us a little bit more about Steve Harvey, the man.
So I love Steve. I've been with him now. Again, this is my 11th season with him, and he is a dope individual. He's a very, very smart man. He's a very, very cool dude to know. He's very tough. Like he's about his business. He's about his money. He's about his hustle. But I've moved all over the. I moved all over the world hanging out with this guy, right?
Yep.
And I wouldn't have done that if he was a jerk. So um, I love him. He's a very, very what I love about him is a lot of shows you go to in Hollywood, the the um, the host doesn't really talk to the audience that much. He does it every day, every show, every break. It keeps him going. It keeps the energy alive, and so that's why he's a great guy to know. I'm glad to have known him. He's changed my whole life. He's changed my whole world, and I couldn't be happier to say that I get to be the guy who comes on stage before one of the original kings of comedy.
Yeah, and I mean the opportunities that this has opened up for you. I mean, yeah, you've done, I said before, you've done the Steve Harvey show. You've done, you've done Miss Universe. You you were there. You were there whenever, whenever,
Oh, you know
the
what?
incident happened. You weren't
I
there.
wasn't there. I wasn't there. So that was the only show that year because it was his first year of doing it. He didn't fly out his whole team. They just flew out him, his bodyguard, and his stage manager. And so when the whole mix-up happened, and I messed with him afterwards, I was like, Steve, you know what happened? You know why he messed up? Because I'm your good luck charm. And I wasn't there, buddy. And I'm just sorry. And he called me a couple of MFers, but
Yep,
but
I imagine.
That's all good.
No, but I mean, again, not only working all these things with Steve because he takes you wherever he goes, and that's great. But it's opened up other opportunities, like you mentioned, the Bachelor as an example.
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal. Little
Yeah.
Big Shots. I mean, I know this has opened up a lot of other avenues. Are they? What's it like working on those other shows? Especially with the tone, because I imagine, I know on Family Feud, it's very high energy. You're out there, you're getting the audience up off their seats. You're dancing with them. You're having different riff offs and different things that's going on. What's it like when you do more of like The Bachelor as an example? Because as you said before.
So The Bachelor is a whole different kind of beast. I mean, it's actually one of my easier shows to do because you walk into the room and they are ready to go. You have a room of predominantly women. They are uber fans of this show. They are ready, and then you just kind of hold on. So the only thing you have to do for that one is just basically what I do for all the other ones: keep the energy up. I mean, it's a little different. I don't play funk and R&B there. I play like pop, and the Taylor Swifts and the Adeles and all the other stuff that goes along with it. So the tone's a little bit different. Each show has a different tone. I don't. While you might hear some similar bits, I have to be different around Kelly Clarkson than I am around Steve Harvey. They're not the same person.
Right.
Steve Harvey and Anthony Anderson, and then all these different hosts have their own specific way they like to do things, and it's not about me. So I am there to make sure that they know that the stage is set to their wants before they get there. So whatever vibe they want in that room before they get there, I'm going to make sure they have it.
Yeah, no, and that's that. See, this is great because a lot of things that they don't realize about like what you do is that you have to almost, I don't want to say completely change yourself, but you have to kind of conform yourself to fit within the like what you said. You play a different type of music. You may act just a little bit of a different way. You may talk a little bit of a different way. And so I can imagine. I mean, Miss Universe. I can imagine like what's that like? Okay, so like with a show like Miss Universe, because you have a lot of international. What's that like going up and standing in front of all of those people and have to entertain them and get them kind of ready to go for the real deal?
It's daunting because a lot of the folks that come from you have two sections, and it depends on where in the world you are. When I did it in Las Vegas, when I did it in Atlanta, it was a smaller venue, so it was mostly VIPs in the room. And so when it was mostly VIPs, they are not as apt to dance and clap and scream and whatever. Now, when we did it in the Philippines, when we did it in Thailand, those are two countries where it basically goes God, the leader of their country, and then Miss Universe pageant. Like it's their Super Bowl. We don't treat it like that here in America, but overseas, man, it's serious. So you have Uber fans coming out there, and all they want to do is party. All they want to do is have a good time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And so it's easier for me to keep them going. So, and again, my job's a little different there because it's a live show, and I'm not out there tap dancing. I'm basically keeping the energy alive with music and, coming, who you guys gonna think you're gonna win? All right, what's up, Germany? What's up, Paris? What's up, Spain? Try to get those different sections to keep rooting for their girls. And then the tough part is when their girl gets put out the competition, getting them to root for another country. you know what I mean? But they do it. They get into it. You know what I mean? It's fun. But yeah, Miss Universe is a whole different beast. When I do it for Kelly really likes music. Kelly likes 90s pop. Oh, sorry about that. Kelly likes 90s pop. Kelly likes, country. And so that's a great departure from Steve Harvey, who likes nothing but funk and R&B. I go over to Aaron. He likes hip hop. He likes, what I did. He likes that modern stuff. So I have to basically cater the show to whoever's in front of us.
Right. Now, I've noticed, and I don't know how many years it would be now, but I noticed like over the last several years at this point, that you, especially with Steve, have had a lot more on-air time, meaning like you've been seen a lot more. There's actually been segments that had been built around you specifically. I know, we talked about it before, but they had your brother come out who was deployed, and he came out, and they surprised you with him coming over, and that was such a cool moment for us, knowing you, and that's like, and again, it's such a weird kind of a thing because we're watching it and we know him, we know, situations and things like that, but to kind of see it in how it goes, and it gets perceived, and I love those videos. Any video, you show me a video of any parent who comes home to their child, any brother who comes to their comes home and gets back with their brother again, that gets me. So for you, I mean, like, what's that like now? You've kind of started transitioning a lot more because you are getting a lot more FaceTime.
Yeah, well, that came, not only did Steve let that happen, it was also a great executive producer. Her name is Alex Duda. First of all, I want to say these two names. Gabby Johnston is the executive producer of Family Feud, and I always got to say her name because I would not be here without her. And the other executive producer of the Kelly Clarkson Show, and she was the executive producer of Steve Harvey Show, her name is Alex Duda. Alex saw kind of the relationship Steve had with me on the breaks, and what she decided to do was make more of that manifest into more of an on-screen role, especially for the last 2 or 3 seasons of Steve's talk show. I was on a lot, you know what I mean? I was in segments and bits and running and jumping on him, and I've been in a cult.
Speaking of which, if you in the audience have never seen this particular video, it is one of my favorite all-time videos I've ever watched, and I just happen to know the person who was featured in it. So I'm going to show you this video. It is awesome. It is funny, and to be honest, you'll see. Just watch.
Trying to find somebody. I just found somebody. Reuben? Come here, Reuben. I want you to run and jump up to me. Yes, come on, Reuben, listen. Reuben, listen. Reuben does warm up for me here on this show. He's the best in the country at this. Reuben is also the warm-up act on Celebrity Family Feud. Reuben is also the warm-up on the daily syndicated Family Feud. So what that means is, every time I work, Reuben works. Now, You really think Reuben is gonna stand here and tell me and hurt me and hurt my feelings and not help complete this joke by running and jumping into my arms? Reuben.
And that is the face of all time.
Man.
That is pure delight. That is pure happiness. That is everything right in the world right there, my man. That is so classic. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so funny. I laugh so hard.
I'm gonna have to show that to my kids.
Oh man, that is so funny. But I mean, honestly, all right, let's talk about that for real. Was you really like nervous to hurt him?
Yes.
I mean, he's your boss.
I don't run and jump up on people. It's not a thing that I do. This is not regular life. I'm a grown-ass man running and jumping. All I could think was, Lord, because we did not practice that. There was no rehearsal. Literally, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you, literally backstage, he goes, hey, I'm going to make you do something on stage. Just prepare yourself. I said, what do you, and that happened. So here we are.
That is insane. I mean, oh my God. And I guess, again, it goes like that a lot where, look, it's filmed, but when a moment hits you, you just gotta, you gotta roll with it. And that's part of living in entertainment is sometimes you just gotta go with it, especially when it's your boss and he's saying, Reuben, and the whole audience starts screaming your name. So you got to do it, I guess, at that point.
Man. Ugh. Man, I'm never going to live that down.
Oh, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. But, look, one of the biggest things that I want to take away from what Steve said there was, and again, has to be the most, proud thing that you could ever have, is that he literally sings your praises about you being the best warm-up act in the country. And talking about doors opening, somebody like Steve Harvey saying that. I mean, come on. There's got to be nothing better than whenever, somebody says that you at your chosen profession right now, as you were, doing it, still doing it, but to be called the best.
Look, man, I don't know if I'm the best. I will give myself top 5, but I will say this.
Let's just say you're the best.
The first time he said it, I cried like a little baby. Let's put it to you that way. First time he said that to me, he said it on stage. First time he ever, oh God, he said it on stage in Orlando. My wife and the entire entertainment production department had come to watch the show, and our executive producer said, "Hey, Steve, Reuben's wife is in the audience," and he pointed her out, and he went on a whole riff about how I was the best, and I did not know how to handle it. You know what I mean? It was just like all the emotions, like, wait, because you understand, that was me realizing, oh, this might be my calling. This might be what I'm going to do. This might be it. This might be what I need to pursue. It was like that moment when I realized, oh wow, I have to do this. This is what I have to do. It's
And just to prove, I want to just prove my point one last time about Reuben being the best, okay? Because again, you guys don't get to see this if you don't go to these filmings, these tapings. You don't get to see a lot of behind the scenes type of stuff. I want to show you one more video, and this is classic. I've seen stuff like this. I wasn't there at this particular one, but I've seen stuff like this. Reuben, he goes all out. So. You guys just gotta watch this. This is awesome. This is from Family Feud.
Now, for those of you that never come to the show, this is Reuben, the warm-up act, who is the best warm-up act in the entire country. Nobody is better than that than him. We're gonna do a 15-second dance off. Give me the music. Can I get some music?
love it. Absolutely love it. Where in the hell did you
Those
develop?
of you that never
Where in the hell did you develop that ass shake, that whole body shake thing? Where did you develop that?
Dog, that comes from me battling in clubs way back in the day with House of Blues and Firestone in Orlando. Uh,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
I learned that I could do it. I was like, oh, that's gonna be my new bit. That's my bit. Man, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, again, congratulations on all the success. That's just an amazing thing. And now uh, I don't know how to put this exactly, but I don't want to say transitioning. I'm hoping you're transitioning to take over other kind of roles in the entertainment world. One of them is the day that you agreed to come on board the Rejects Club as an executive producer.
Well, before I get to that, I just want to give a big shout out to somebody in the chat. His name is Elliot Hansen. He's a gentleman that I actually do all the Comic-Cons with. We actually travel to Comic-Cons all over America, and he does all over the world. And we get to entertain, doing all the basically warm-up stuff and hosting stuff that I do in the breaks. I get to do with him on stage. So I want to give him a shout out. But back to the Rejects Club. I wanted to be involved because I like you. To be 100% honest with you, I wanted to be involved because you came with a project, and I'm sorry, the light's getting to me. You came with a project that it's viable, it's good, and you were very passionate about it. And I've never seen someone so passionate about it. And I wanted to be a part of it. So when you said, "Hey, listen, if there's any help that I could do, would I?" And absolutely, I would, man. You've been dope to me over the years, and that's the thing about this industry. Everybody treats it so cutthroat, and we shouldn't. We should treat it as if we're all in this together. I'm sorry if it's quoting High School Musical, but we're all trying to get this money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so with any video, with anything that needs to happen, why not? It's a great premise. It's something that you can absolutely see on TV. It's something that absolutely should be, we got to find a platform for it. I mean, it's just dying to be produced, not necessarily produced. It's dying to be seen. It's dying to be ingested. And I can't wait to, we get it out there to the public and people see. Listen, for folks back in the day who watched those, like I mentioned earlier, 15 and all those old Nickelodeon shows, and then those WB shows, and all those shows with the teen angst, with the teen, the coming to adulthood, and everybody was that awkward teenager. And so I really enjoy, from reading the script and seeing the media from it, what it's all about. And so I can't wait for this to blow up, because it should. It should absolutely blow up.
So what's it like, for you, because this isn't something that you're used to doing. You're not used to, going out and approaching people, industry people, and saying, hey, we have an idea. What would it take to get this, rolling? What's that like for you to go and take that kind of approach with, somebody in the industry? Because, you're building yourself up. You're making a name for yourself. People know you. You have connections. You have this. You have that. But what's it like to actually approach someone and say, hey, listen, I got an idea. I'd like you to take a look at it.
1 second. Kiddos, I'm on an interview. I need y'all to close the door for me.
This is the real part, guys. We are live.
Real part, right?
This is live.
Yeah.
This is live. We would have cut this out and been like, all right, let's get to the question. No, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It is scary. And I'll say this because even when I was asking girls out back in the day, I've never been the, hey girl, what's up? How you doing? Listen, I got this for you. I've never been that guy. So to approach big wigs with a project that I believe in, it's like showing off your artwork for the first time. You know what I mean? It's like I made this delicious meal for you. Please try it. And then you wait for Gordon Ramsay to rip you to shreds. But no, it's scary. It's daunting. Thankfully, I will say this, that I've been surprised that more people in this industry are not a-holes. You know what I mean? They're not, and which is thankful. You know what I mean? So the people that have approached with it, people have asked about it, whether they say a pleasant no immediately, or they'll say hey, I'll take a look at it, and then I can, even when I've been judging body language for my whole life. You know what I mean? So I can tell when somebody genuinely is going to take it for serious, and I'm glad they are. I'm glad they are taking this, because again, a lot of the folks that I approach about this know that if I approach it with something, it's not some BS. It's not me trying to get a come up. I'm trying to give you a heads up of something that's good. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to mess up my position in my life. And I'm not going to bring you something that I think would mess up that position.
Yeah.
So thankfully, they've been cool about it.
And so like it's funny because like our actors and the people who worked on the show and everything they asked like, well, what's going on, like what's happening. I'm like, look, I was like, this is not an easy business. This is a make the connections, make the hustle, get it in the right hands, and once it gets in the right hands, it's going to take off and it'll go fast. I was like, but the getting it into the right hand is what takes the most. But they said, well, what are people saying about it? Like people who are in the industry who this has been presented to. And I know you had kind of told me, but I think coming from your mouth, especially for those who are a part of the series, I think it might be good for them to hear it from you. Some of the general feedback that had kind of come about the show when you've introduced it to people.
I have to take a quick break. Hold on a second. What's up, baby?
All right, dude. This is awesome. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Reuben Urban.
Okay. How about this?
You can
I
you can
need
add
10
him on
minutes.
Facebook
Okay,
at
I'll
Reuben
figure it
Urban.
out.
You can see the message line down below,
Yeah,
or
10
on
minutes.
Instagram. I am Reuben Urban. You can check him out and make sure you go and add him on Facebook if you haven't already. And again, so all right, you're back and
Yeah, sorry. The general feedback is positive. There has been nobody that has thrown this back in my face like, why did you bring me this swill? Every bit of the feedback has absolutely been positive. I think the biggest hurdle, honestly, the show has is what is the platform it's going to look like? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it's a TV show, whether it's a Quibi show, whether it's a YouTube Red show, whether it's an Amazon Prime show, it's trying to find the right pants to fit. And I think that's the growing pains of the project. You know what I mean? We live in a world now where, of course, these executives and these show producers are getting script after idea. So you have to be careful of not somebody stealing it, but somebody doing something similar, and then your project gets, oh, well, then you're like XYZ, and then it messes you up. So I think that the biggest hurdle for this project is trying to find the right home. That's the biggest problem.
yeah, and I've said that for a long time. I said, look, I was like, ultimately, it's got to get to the right person at the right time for the right platform, and that's generally exactly how I think about it. And then I think another thing that people don't realize how hard this business truly is. Like I know you've given me some advice, but I want you to give folks advice. Like if somebody's trying to get into the industry in whatever round of part of the industry they're trying to get into, can you give them some advice of what they can expect? And I mean I know how hard it is because we're trying to work our asses off to get this show where we wanted to get to. But like beyond the show, just in general, what's it like? Like how hard is it, and how hard is the business to get into? Because coming from an expert, or at least more of an expert than me, what's that like?
So the hardest part being in the business is recognizing if you actually should be in the business. That is the hardest part. A lot of people have a passion to be a singer, a passion to be a dancer, a passion to be an actor, but that's not necessarily their gift. They got to find out whatever their gift is and then work towards that. Now, if you come to find out that your passion and your gift is acting, performing, show running, whatever, then the next part about that is the hustle. And I give you credit, Eric, for your hustle and in your ways of trying to get this show to light. You tried every venue, every avenue. You're doing everything you can to make this happen, but that's what it takes. It takes day and night hustle. My job as a warm-up guy, my next warm-up gig is dependent on what I do today, every day, all day. If somebody has eyes on me at Family Feud, I cannot have an off day. I do not have off days. I come in and I work every day. If I am sick off stage. If I'm having, listen, I tell this story not to bring the mood down, but I have to be real with the level with the level you have to be at to make this work. I was on stage, Chicago Comic-Con, performing, telling jokes, and found out my mother died.
Oh,
And
man.
I still had to go back out on that stage and do what I had to do. And then afterwards, I lost my ish backstage. I lost it backstage. But that's just me. And I, again, not bringing the mood down, but I'm just explaining to you the level of hustle that you have to be at to win in this business. Yes, it is important to know the right people. Yes, it's important to go to the right gigs and to the right rap parties and to the right meetings and take the right interviews. It is important to do those things. Absolutely important. Do the work, but make sure that it's what you every bit of that work is driven towards your talent and driven towards what you are meant to do. And let me step off my soapbox now.
Yeah, no, and and the truth of it is, and like what you were saying about the hustle and trying to do what you need to do to make this happen, based on a conversation that Reuben and I had, when he was, and he still is. I mean, well, not right now, but he's still getting the hustle, trying to trying to talk to people and trying to work angles to try to get this show where we want it to be. But it was off of Reuben's advice of saying, look, you gotta put some stuff out there. You gotta put something that that people can hold on to. Try to build whatever you can build, do whatever you can do for now until we get it to that point. And it was literally because of that conversation that you and I had was the reason why we ended up filming these new 7-episode prequel series. I went straight to work, man. Like soon as we had that conversation, I went straight to work. I had conversations with Madison, who helped create or who created the series. I had conversations with my wife, who kind of gave me a couple ideas here and there. And she'll tell you that she basically came up with the concept of doing the backstories, which is pretty much true. But like if it wasn't for advice that you gave to me, these 7 prequel series episodes that we're going to show right here on this platform on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook channel next week, starting on Monday night. If it wasn't for that conversation, these 7 prequel episodes would have never happened. And I think that it's a definite real possibility that the series would have, I won't say died, but it would have kind of gone off by the wayside from our point of view. This has kept us engaged. This has kept us building up the brand, building up the storylines, and in the process of all of that, we not only had found someone that wrote the book version of our first season of Rejects Club, but it's going to be published later this year. So I have to give you a whole lot of credit for basically turning me around, kicking me in the ass, and say, look, dude, here's what you got to do if you want to make this successful on what I can take care of. You as being
Man, it's just
Reuben can
look,
take care
man.
of your
Everybody
stuff, but
wants
I
to
have
test drive their car, right?
right.
Everybody wants to test drive their car. You know what I mean? So you got to give them something. You don't necessarily have to give the whole cow away, but it's the reality is we're in a new state of entertainment. When you have TikTok stars making millions, Instagram stars making millions, YouTube stars making millions, you got to figure out which lane you fit in and go do it. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. And trust me, I love these 7 prequel episodes. I think that they're all amazing. The book, I've read the last draft of it. It's the whole book. It's done, and now it's just some editing and things that's going on. We already got the deal done with the publishers, Jumpmaster Press. Thank you to those guys. I'm gonna make sure I give them a plug because literally this book and all of this stuff that we got going on now, really, I mean, yes, it is our concept, but really you helped that along. So again, from my family and
Well,
me,
hey man,
thank
anything
you.
I do to help, man. Anything I can do to make this work, I will. Anything
Yeah.
I will can.
Yeah, and so now here we are in quarantine. And here we are, we're
Yeah.
chilling at home most of the time. We're just kind of doing our thing. And you actually kind of developed something that's pretty cool, and and I think it's awesome. You basically pretty much almost every night, except for tonight because today's your birthday, and you're here with us. But you do this thing. It's called Quarantine Feuds. So tell me, what was your thought process? I mean, obviously you worked on Family Feud, so there was a natural connection. But what was the idea behind bringing Quarantine Feud to
I have I have to speed this up. My wife's telling me the dinner's ready. So, anyways, so I was stuck in my house. It was day 3 of my quarantine, and no, day 2 of my quarantine, and I saw the general tone of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter take a curve. It got real dark. People getting very worried. People really getting very dark. Is the only way I can explain it. And what I decided to do was I play a game called Quarantine Feud. I ask Family Feud style questions. I do it as a distraction. I first was just doing it by reading the questions on my Facebook page as something to do. And then I learned how to code some stuff together. I turned it into an actual game show. I do it on my Facebook page at Reuben Irvin. I give out gift cards. They're only $5, but it's just something to distract. It's something to get your mind off. It's something to get you and your family around the screen to play a game, something fun. It's something fun for your so you just get your mind off this ridiculousness. Look, we're stuck in our houses. Half of us ain't wearing pants. You know what I mean? So, come play the game and come play the game and take a step back from the ridiculousness that is this COVID stuff. We can't do nothing about it, right?
Yep.
So instead of being in your house worrying about it, come play the game with me. Take 20, 30 minutes out of your time and then go back to your regular life.
I won once, so if I can win, anybody can. just throwing it out there, But yeah, no, this is great, and it's great of you to do. It's great to kind of keep, again, at any moment of time that anybody can give that will take your mind off of what's going on in the real world. That it's great. So you do it basically almost every day, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And then again, as Reuben said, he basically gives like a $5 gift card for the win. He does 2 games per show, which is awesome. So he gives you 2 chances. And you know what? To be honest, sometimes I go in there and I just play to have fun. I never try to win. I just go in there and try to have fun because I'll just put some of the most ridiculous answers that I possibly can just to see.
I appreciate it. They made me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, just to see if it happens. So one final word from you. What would you say? What's the future hold for Reuben?
The future is uncertain right now, but all I know is that no matter what, I am going to come out on the other side of this thing better than ever. I'm taking this. I heard this phrase: every setback is a setup for your comeback. So I have already been talking. I hope to do Family Feud live tour again. I got to do that for a while as the host for the show. I know Family Feud's definitely coming back. I know Kelly Clarkson and the rest of the shows that I do are coming back. And they're all going to come back at one time. So my goal is to make as much more money in the third quarter of 2020. I want it to be ignorant. I know I'm ramping up my hustle to 5,000 when we get on the other side of this. And because, look, we got to get on the other side of this. We got to get on the other side of this better. And let's all get on the other side of this with some positive energy. That way we can make 2021 better than 2020.
Yeah, this juncture, nothing could be worse. Damn it. So, but man, listen. Again, if you want to go follow Reuben, go check out his Facebook page. It's at Reuben Irvin. If you want to check out his Instagram, it's I am Reuben Irvin. So make sure you go and check that out. Check out Quarantine Feud almost every night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, dude. I could not thank you any more than I have already tried to do by not only coming on here, but everything you're trying to do for Rejects, for me personally, and all the people out there who are suffering, giving them just a little bit of entertainment every single day. It's an amazing thing that you do. Thank you, family, for us. Say hi to Alicia and the boys, and go eat some dinner.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you letting me on, and we'll do this again real soon. All right.
Absolutely, man. Have a great evening, and thank you guys out there for listening in and hanging out with us for a little bit. So I'm Eric Scott. We'll see you guys back next time. Take care.
This just ain't fair. We'll see